8 planets, 1 star, billions of kilometers of empty space between them. Each world in this solar system is its own kind of extreme. Not one of them is anything like the others. Not one of them is safe. This is a tour of what each planet actually is, what it does, what it would do to you, starting from the inside and moving out. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. It is also, in a way, one of the most misunderstood. Most people assume it is the hottest planet. It is not. Mercury has almost no atmosphere, nothing to trap heat. So on the side facing the Sun, temperatures reach 430 degrees Celsius. On the side facing away, they drop to negative 180. That swing happens on the same planet, within a single slow rotation. A day on Mercury lasts 59 Earth days. A year lasts 88. In some places on the surface, the Sun rises, reverses direction briefly, then rises again. That is not an error. It is what the orbital mechanics produce. The surface is ancient, heavily cratered, almost no geological activity. Mercury has been largely frozen in time for billions of years, sitting close to the Sun, baking and freezing in alternation, with nothing to protect it from either. Small, dense, and mostly ignored. That is Mercury. Venus is the hottest planet, and it is hot in a way that should make you uncomfortable. The surface sits at around 465 degrees Celsius, not because Venus is close to the Sun, it is farther out than Mercury, but because its atmosphere is made almost entirely of carbon dioxide, with clouds of sulfuric acid layered on top. The greenhouse effect on Venus is not a warning or a metaphor, it is the result. Heat gets in, it cannot get out. The surface temperature is stable, relentless, and high enough to melt lead. The atmospheric pressure at the surface is 90 times what you feel on Earth, like standing 900 meters underwater. Every probe we have ever sent to Venus has been crushed or melted within hours. Venus rotates backward compared to most planets, and it rotates slowly. So slowly that a day on Venus is longer than its year. The Sun rises in the west and sets in the east. Earth, liquid water on the surface, an oxygen-rich atmosphere, a magnetic field that deflects solar radiation, plate tectonics that recycle the crust and regulate the carbon cycle, a moon large enough to stabilize the axial tilt. None of those things are guaranteed. None of them are common. The conditions that produced this planet took billions of years to develop and could have broken in any number of directions. From the outside, Earth looks calm. From inside the solar system, it is an exception. Everything else out here is trying to kill you. Earth just happened to stop. Mars is the planet we talk about the most, the one we send robots to, the one we imagine colonizing. It is also a dead world. Mars once had a magnetic field. Without it, solar winds stripped the atmosphere away over billions of years. What is left is less than 1% of Earth's atmospheric pressure. The average surface temperature is negative 60 degrees Celsius. Dust storms can cover the entire planet for months. The largest volcano in the solar system is on Mars. Olympus Mons stands 22 kilometers high and is roughly the size of France at its base. The longest canyon system, Valles Marineris, stretches 4,000 kilometers. Jupiter is not a planet in the way the inner planets are planets. It is a different category of object. It is 318 times the mass of Earth, more than twice the mass of all the other planets in the solar system combined. It has no solid surface. What you see when you look at Jupiter is the top of an atmosphere that goes down thousands of kilometers before the pressure compresses hydrogen into a liquid, and then deeper still into a metallic state that conducts electricity like a wire. The Great Red Spot is a storm that has been running for at least 350 years. It is shrinking, slowly, but it is still larger than Earth. Jupiter's magnetic field is 20,000 times stronger than Earth's. It generates radiation belts that would deliver a lethal dose to a human within hours. Jupiter also has 95 known moons. One of them, Europa, has a liquid water ocean beneath its ice shell. That ocean is one of the most serious candidates for extraterrestrial life in the solar system. Jupiter does not announce itself. It just sits there, enormous, pulling everything toward it, reshaping the orbits of everything around it. Saturn is the one everyone recognizes. The rings make it unmistakable. Those rings are made almost entirely of ice and rock, ranging from tiny grains to chunks the size of houses. They are wide enough to span the distance between Earth and the Moon, but thin enough that if you scaled Saturn to the size of a basketball, the rings would be thinner than a sheet of paper. Saturn is a gas giant like Jupiter, but less dense. In fact, Saturn is the least dense planet in the solar system. It is less dense than water. In theory, it would float. The winds at Saturn's equator reach 1,800 kilometers per hour. There is a persistent hexagonal storm system at the North Pole, a geometric structure roughly 4 times the size of Earth, stable for decades. Saturn has 146 known moons. Titan, the largest, has a thick nitrogen atmosphere and lakes of liquid methane on its surface. It is one of the few moons in the solar system with a substantial atmosphere of its own. The rings are younger than the planet itself. Estimates suggest they formed between 10 and 100 million years ago. They are also disappearing, slowly draining into Saturn's atmosphere. In another 100 million years or so, they will be gone. Uranus is tilted on its side. Its axial tilt is 98 degrees, meaning it essentially rolls along its orbital path, rather than spinning upright like most planets. The result is extreme. Each pole spends 42 years in continuous sunlight, and then 42 years in complete darkness. The seasons are unlike anything else in the solar system. Uranus is classified as an ice giant. Its interior contains water, ammonia, and methane in pressurized, hot fluid states. Nothing frozen about it despite the name. The surface temperature, measured at the cloud tops, sits around -224 degrees Celsius. That makes Uranus the coldest planetary atmosphere in the solar system. Colder than Neptune, which is nearly twice as far from the Sun. Uranus has rings, faint ones. It is a strange planet in almost every way. Tilted, cold, dim, and distant. It has been visited by exactly one spacecraft. Voyager 2 passed by in 1986 and has not been back since. Neptune is the farthest planet. At its average distance from the Sun, light takes over 4 hours to reach it. A signal from Voyager 2, which flew past Neptune in 1989 and is now the farthest human-made object from Earth, takes more than 20 hours to reach us. Neptune has the strongest winds of any planet in the solar system. They reach 2,100 kilometers per hour, faster than the speed of sound on Earth, in an atmosphere with temperatures near -200 degrees Celsius. Neptune generates more heat than it receives from the Sun. Something in its interior is producing energy, though the exact mechanism is still not fully understood. Neptune sits at the edge of the classical solar system. Beyond it is the Kuiper belt, then the Oort cloud, then nothing for a very long time. 8 planets, all of them real, all of them stranger than most people realize. Mercury, baking and freezing in the same rotation. Venus, crushed and cooked under an atmosphere that trapped its own heat until the surface became uninhabitable. Earth, an accident of conditions that have held together long enough for us to be here. Mars, a world that had something and lost it. Jupiter, massive enough to reshape everything around it. Saturn, ringed and temporary. Uranus, knocked sideways by something billions of years ago and never corrected. Neptune, cold and windy and still poorly understood. None of them are waiting for us. None of them are hospitable. But they are there, and they are moving, and we can see them from here. That is enough reason to keep looking. If you stayed until Neptune, you belong here. Subscribe if you have not. Like the video if the solar system is stranger than you expected. And leave a comment telling me which planet surprised you most. Next time, we go further out.